And we are here on Twitter doing our weekly horoscopes from the 3rd to the 10th of July, 2023. I'm kind of glad I didn't do these horoscopes on Friday because a lot has changed this weekend. Apparently there's some kind of a plan or a thought to block sunlight on planet Earth to cool it down. It's very obvious that the people that are suggesting this are very addicted to the physical dimension and think that the only way you can cool down heat is by changing something very physical, such as the heat from the sun on the physical dimension. There are other methodologies that are alternative, and I'm going to talk about that now because apparently we've reached something of a crisis point on the planet. And something is going to break. And supposedly, not supposedly, in the news in Singapore, they're suggesting that everybody turn off all their electronics because there may be a big solar flare that's going to push through and destroy all the power grids and could reach your computer via the wiring. I suggest you not turn it off. I suggest you unplug it from the wall because the turning off perhaps may not be sufficient, and leave it off all the time that you're not actively working on the computer, and of course back everything up. Now, these are the horoscopes for the 3rd to the 10th of July 2023. Why am I talking about these mundane things? Because they're not mundane. This has been predicted possibly by the people that are going to make it happen, which may be other dimensional people, but it's been predicted that we're going to be left without internet. Some say as long as 2 weeks, which basically would tear the last vestiges of hierarchical modern society. It would tear it down. So how are we going to live? Don't know. But let's see what comes up in the horoscopes now. And if you have any comments, please, you can put them in the chat and I'll be glad to answer them. We have Christina from Paraguay. This is good. And Duan, who is a loyal Mantrista follower. Let's start with the individual horoscopes and see what is revealed there that all of you can benefit from, even if that is not your sign that I'm talking about. Perhaps you're not aware. There are 2 things that can block you from getting the good stuff that the planets can send you. One is a huge spirit attachment or possession, because spirits that used to have a physical body, but their physical bodies died, had an astrological sign, and that sign was not on their physical body, it was in their energy bodies, their astral spirit. The astral body, remember? So if you have a spirit, you have the astral body of the spirit, and you have the influence of their astrological sign, which chances are is not the same sign as you. Therefore, you're going to have a battle going on above and beyond the destruction of an entity. And the second thing that can block you from getting the really good stuff that the planets want to send you is a huge trauma, particularly when you were young, because that breaks you, portals open, and spirits come in. So there we go. The thing that can stop you from the really good stuff are the spirits. And what did Jesus Christ do when somebody was ill? He first removed spirits. What an intelligent man. He was a shaman, which means he knew what was important in the other dimensions that needed to be addressed to fix what was symbolically broken on the physical dimension. That's what you need to do with the issue that has come up today. And if you have not practiced your visualization, you need to start right now, that your life does not get destroyed within the next couple of weeks, or whenever it is that has been predicted happens, which is that the internet's going to be taken down. I have to highly recommend Twitter, because Twitter provides its own internet via the satellites that Elon Musk has. Might be an intelligent move if you're not already on Twitter. And you might want to consider, but look it up, the Starlink connection to the satellites, directly you, without somebody else interfering, where you can apparently continue to receive internet, even if everybody else is down and out for the count. So let's start with, and any questions you might want to ask, please feel free to ask them. Let's start with Aries, which is a male sign, and it is a fire sign. All the fire signs are suffering tremendously because there's too much fire in the planet, fire element. I'm not getting into the global warming argument because people that argue about global warming don't know anything about the elements. So whatever you're saying is only addressing the physical dimension, which is only a symptom. So I'm not going to get into that, and I'm not going to be afraid to use those words, global warming, without starting a riot. Okay? Back off. Global warming means too much of the fire element. There is too much of the fire element on the planet now. And it particularly affects the 3 fire signs of Aries, Sagittarius, and I forgot the third one, Leo. So those 3 would be really hit hard. And right now, with all this fire coming into the planet, which, by the way, is a war time weapon, sending an excess of elements. That's how the Turkey earthquake started. Darn, I'm talking about a lot of things. Let's get back to Aries. I'm very ADD, but it turns out that it's actually good in a sense that it keeps people entertained because their mind wants to jump. My mind jumps with interesting information, but it's still jumping. So I can kind of keep people hooked a little bit longer with my ADD. Everything that is bad happens for a good reason. See? Aries, you are climbing the walls. And there you go, excess fire. You're not sure what it is you're going to do. You're not sure that you're going to make it. You're not sure what's going on. You're just not sure. Well, you have too much fire. Fire gives vitality. But when it's too much, it gives anxiety. It's like you want to jump out of your skin. So you have to go to the beach. You have to be by water or something a lot more simple. You need to, oh, there you go. You need to put on our sensory therapy music. You don't need, it doesn't matter that you don't know Spanish. This is a video, and this is the link to the video. And excuse me while I put the link up. If you put this on in your environment, if you put this video on while you're sleeping, we have it 10 hours long. The entire 10 hours, you are going to be getting a healing in the other dimensions, which is where the elements are, Aries. I suggest you do this because other than that, what are you going to do? Throw yourself off the building? I prefer you dive into water. Use our new technique, relatively new technique called the glacier technique. You visualize that you have a glacier on top of your head or that you are living inside an igloo. That visualization creates a reality in the other dimension that diminishes all that fire, Aries. I think you're going to make some huge mistakes because of your impatience. You're going to do stuff that if you didn't have all this extra fire, you wouldn't do it. Think not twice, think 3 times before you make a decision or you open your mouth, Aries. You are going to get into trouble because of the excess fire. And it's only going to get worse on the planet. Going now into Taurus, which is an earth sign and is a female sign. Taurus, this extra fire is not so bad for you because honestly, you've been in such a depression for so long that you needed a bit of a kick in the pants in order to get up, maybe not out of bed, but get up and out of the lethargy that you are drowning in. So I would spend a lot of time in nature. I would go and sit under a tree. I would grab the tree. I would hug it. I would beg it to ground me. Because Taurus, you're coming into some really good times, but you need grounding. Tauruses are the earth sign that's the most earth, the most real, the most aware of danger. And Tauruses can perceive that the planet, plus everybody that they love in themselves, is standing in the middle of an expressway, and the cars are wheezing by, and somebody's going to get hurt. Yes, somebody's going to get hurt on the planet Taurus. So how about if you get really grounded, get off of that highway that you're standing on, put yourself to the side, watch everybody do all their craziness, and make sure that you have enough of the earth element so that this wisdom that you have, this innate wisdom, you can share with everybody and help to keep them safe. Okay, Taurus? Going on to the next sign is Gemini, which is an air sign, and it's a male sign. Gemini, your head is spinning. There's a lot of black around you, but honestly, for how a lot of people look, you're not looking that bad. I'm going to give you a mantra, and the mantra should be, even though I'm depressed and dizzy, I love and accept myself. Even though I'm depressed and dizzy, you don't seem to be confused, which a lot of us were last week. You're just depressed at what you see, and you're kind of dizzy. So the mantra is repeated in silence. And you blow out your breath through your mouth. And notice your shoulders. See how they drop once you do the mantra 2 or 3 times. You have to pay attention to your body, because that will be proof to you that you're not just doing a silly little exercise that does nothing. You're actually doing mental yoga for the part of you in other dimensions that creates reality. It works. Try it. But you need to be the judge. That's why you have to pay attention to your body. And as you see it releasing muscles, like in the shoulder, and relaxing, that means that this part of your mind can now create what you want and what you intend, rather than just reacting to what other people are choosing. Continuing on, we go with Cancer, which is a female sign, and it's a water sign. Lots of water is emotions in the other dimensions. Cancer, you're looking good. You look kind of like puffy, like you have a lot of emotions that you're still holding on to. So if you get into a car and on the expressway, open the windows and scream. And I think you're going to release all that tension that is holding liquid in your body. They say that most diseases are an inflammatory process. What gets inflamed is extra water that's in the body. Water is emotion. You take care of the emotional component and issues, then you can't have that inflammation in your organs. In this case, Cancer, you have it over your entire body. You are holding on for dear life because you're afraid. So your mantra, even though I'm afraid of what's going to happen, I love and accept myself. And you have in your solar plexus chakra, which is 6 inches above your belly button, the top part of it that is right next to your heart chakra is blue, the color of communication. So you're going to be able to communicate emotions and love very nicely, thank you. Blue is the color of communication. Good. Cancer, you're looking pretty good. You're looking better than you have looked for a long time. So we're going to continue on with Leo. Leo, you are a fire sign, male, and you're in the middle of what they say is going to be something that's going to burn up the planet, which is a super solar flare, being predicted basically by everybody. It's including in the Singapore news. It's also on spaceweather.com. It's all over the place, the information. But the Singapore news says that we're going to get hit by a super, and it was supposed to be from last night to today, but this continues, a super solar flare, and that you should turn off all your electronic devices. You can't just turn them off. You have to pull them out of the wall. Because if that wire is still in the wall, that extra electricity that's going to supposedly burn the grids goes into your electronic equipment. So pull it out of the wall, turn it off and pull it out of the wall. And do not sleep near anything that radiates, please, which includes cell phones. So Leo, which is where I started, you didn't take care of your fire. You have too much fire. You have been dumbed down. You are less intelligent now because of the excess fire. Less intelligent because of the excess fire. Because after all, you have it all under control because you're not screaming and killing people. Well, you know what? You can hurt people with your extra fire. But in this case, you hurt yourself, Leo. You held in that fire. You look like a little tightly wound doll. And this is your mantra. Even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. And if you're so delicate, Leo, that you think that you don't have hate, change the mantra to, even though I'm frustrated, I love and accept myself. But then don't complain if it takes a little bit longer because you really did not want to confront all that hatred you have inside of you because you think everybody's dumb. That's a Leo contention that they never verbalize. You need to get it, you need to deprogram that from your mind because it is affecting you in terms of your personality, your development, and your vibration. Your vibration is not good, and your personality is changing due to the excess fire. What is this with all the excess fire and how it can affect you? Every medicine on this planet, from shamanism, which is the original medicine, to how Jesus Christ practiced medicine, to how Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, how they practice medicine, all of them say that health is a balance of the four elements. We are not balanced on this planet. Not getting into the global warming debate, definitely we have an excess fire on the planet. Definitely the fire signs are the most vulnerable, and definitely Leo, you need to take down the fire or you just are not going to be you, and what you intend on getting, you are not going to get. Continuing on then to the next sign, which is Virgo. This is from the 3rd to the 10th of July, 2023. This is the day after and the next day where international news is saying we're going to get shut down, the internet, everything, due to solar flares. So what does this have to do with Virgo? How does this affect Virgo? Because that is influences from the planet. Let's see how it affects Virgo. Virgo is not allowing the fire to go through them to process it. Virgo is holding tight, and then the fire is pushing Virgos. So Virgos have got to be like really uncomfortable. The good news is I don't see quite as much frustration inside Virgos. They usually are very frustrated and very bitter. I don't see that, but I do see them kind of like in a holding pattern. So Virgo, you need the same mantra as Leo, which all of you should do. And the mantra is, if somebody doesn't mind putting it in the chat, that would be great. Even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. Even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. So I don't want to get shut down, but that is the same mantra that the Mantristas used, thousands of them, during the plague. You know what I'm talking about. And we noticed afterwards that very few Mantristas, well, they didn't die. Very few of them got sick. And if they did, they mildly, everybody else in their homes on their deathbeds, or at least they felt that way, and they were kind of like, okay. That same mantra, which repairs the heart chakra, may be what can keep you safe if you have been pinched, which is how we talk about that particular issue. So do the mantra, Virgo, Leo, all fire signs, everyone. Even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. You have to speak in code, except you know what? The people that are watching know the code. You can read right through it, but whatever. Maybe the robots won't catch it. Thank you. I'm not sure that I can put this on screen. Nope. We're going to continue on in the horoscopes from the 3rd to the 10th, 2023, in the beginning of a massive planetary crisis where everybody's anticipating that there's going to be a shutdown of the internet for 2 or 3 weeks, which basically means that all of society will collapse. Which means that older people are going to be better off than the young people because they're not addicted. And which means that people that didn't update everything and modernize everything and live a less modern life are going to be the winners. And the people that live in natural settings and grow their own food are going to look like the stars of this particular crisis. Let's continue. We're going to go on to Libra, which is a male sign, and it's an air sign. Libra, you are massively depressed. Your mind strings, and I will show you, for those of us that are on video, This is what the mind streams look like. Libra, you have a center axis, which is the Holy Grail. We all have one inside of us. And from it extend 72,000 strings I named mind streams because I discovered them. Science also discovered them, and they call them cannabinoid receptors. Libra, your mind streams are pointed straight up. That means that you are not dealing well with happenings on the physical dimension. That means that you are paying too much attention to spiritual, and usually that means that you literally have a feeling of wanting to die. Libras are going through living hell right now. Sorry, Libra. This is a process, but you need to let go of that old world so that you can not only embrace, but like in a football game, grab that ball and take it to the finish line, the goalpost. But right now, your mantra is, even though I hate and want to die, I love and accept myself. One of the problems with excess fire is that it increases suicides and it increases the desire to die. One of the neat things is that science has already proven the relationship between the rise in temperature and suicides. Wherever there's a rise in temperature, there's a rise in suicide. And in Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, extra fire means mental illness. And your little cell phone, what does it radiate? Heat, fire. Okay? That's your mantra, Libra, talking to you. Why even bother? You can't hear because you are so desperately unhappy. That mantra is going to make a huge difference for you from the first minute that you try it. Okay? So we're going to go on to then our next sign, which is Scorpio. Scorpio is a female sign and it's a water sign. Water is emotions. Scorpio is all about karma. Miami is Scorpio. And Miami has a lot of connections to a lot of interesting things on the planet, politics particular, and much more so than it should have because it's a Scorpio. And we work out some karmic issues in this country via happenings that are associated with Miami. So, water sign, emotions, Scorpio. So what can I say to a Scorpio this week, the week that across the planet they're saying unplug all of your devices. Don't just turn them off, unplug them, because there's going to be a grid power failure. The grids are going to be destroyed by solar flares. That is what everybody's saying across the planet. We have it up on our Facebook, etc. From Singapore. We're not the only ones. We're certainly not the initiators of this announcing that there's extra fire on the planet. How do you know? How can you tell there's extra fire without reading the news? Look at how angry everybody is. Look at how frustrated everybody is. Look at the stuff that's burning in Paris. Look at the whole issue of hate, and violence. You cannot hate. You can't be frustrated all day long. You can't kill. You can't try to hurt someone else unless you have an excess of fire. So our society has an excess of fire. Scorpio, what are you going to do about your excess fire? What does it look like in you? Let's check. Scorpio, you have it in your solar plexus, which is the element of the solar plexus. But when you have too much fire, your digestion is shot. So your digestion cannot be good, Scorpio. But that's because you have, oh, this is funny, you haven't decided where you're going to direct your extra fire. Somebody's going to get taken down. Somebody's going to get taken down because Scorpio is not going to tolerate it. Scorpio, please remember that a lot of this extra fire and hatred and anger that you're feeling is fueled by the extra fire, maybe not so much by other people's stupidity and behavior. So you need to reduce your extra fire, because if not, you may end up doing something that is inappropriate for your situation, or that you do it in a way that afterwards you won't be happy with. So what is your mantra? Even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. That should be the universal mantra. And of course, we have For all of you, I'm going to put it again, just 1 second, the graphics for the sensory therapy music that will reduce the fire in your home, in your office, in your mind, in your emotions. And a lot of people, it's 10 hours long. A lot of people sleep with it on. So the entire night, they're getting bathed in cold water and they're hearing musical notes and sounds that reduce the fire in their assemblage of bodies. So, Scorpio, you need to deal with the extra fire because the stuff you do may be what you wanted to do, but it may be done in a way that's going to be a little bit destructive. Okay? Going on now to the next fire sign is Sagittarius, which is a male sign. Oh, you don't look good. Nope. But wait, let me push this away because I know somebody who's Sagittarius and I need to make sure that I'm reading all of Sagittarius and not one person. I don't read one person. I ask the dolphins for the information and they give it to me. That's a lot more simple than me running and getting information from 20 different places in other dimensions. The dolphins fetch it for me, feed it to me, and I give it to you. Via FRANCESFOX, I give it to you. So Sagittarius pushing away the 2 people that I know that are Sag. Something is going on, something outside factor looks like black magic to me, and I'll describe what it is that I'm seeing. I see like a blanket thrown over you, but it reaches the ground. And then on the ground, it's hammered into the ground like you do with a tent. You undo the tent, you open it up, and then you put stakes in the corners, you pull it so it's nice and taut, and then you don't get rained on, you have some protection. In this case, this type of black magic completely eliminates the person to where people can't see the person or feel their energy. It's like totally flat. If you send in a resume and somebody did that type of black magic on you, your resume would become like invisible. It's like making you invisible. So if you know of somebody that can do an analysis to see if you fall into the group that has that black magic, I suspect, see what I'm doing here? This is where the bad spirits come in, and for me to be doing this is a little bit unusual. So I'm getting some interference. Check it out, Sag. Reduce your fire. Why didn't I say this at the beginning? What is the food of the devil? Fire. What almost took Darth Vader? What took Darth Vader down? Hatred, because he lost his mother. Hatred is fire. Fueled by fire. It's not fueled by water. It's fueled by fire. So he almost took down the entire universe because he had excess fire he never processed. That's what the mantras are for. It's a type of mental yoga that you process very easily. So Sagittarius, you need to do the mantra, even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. And if you suspect that maybe somebody did some kind of magic on you, go check it out, get it taken care of. But it would be kind of easy to do black magic on you because you're down and out to start out with. I suspect that you've been holding back what you really want for decades. And so now you are not in such a great place because that was an awful lot of time for that fire to be sitting in front of you, inside of you, around you, polluting everything that you do. You're too frustrated. Your mantra, even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. Please do it. It's important. Sag. Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's a female sign. From above your ears, which would be throat chakra, third eye, not quite the crown, this is in flames. So you have 2 chakras, half of the throat chakra and the full third eye chakra, which is about wisdom and clairvoyance and clairaudience. It's where the superpowers are. It's where I can see on Twitter that those that are investigating the herbs that are for mind trips, I don't have the language. They're saying that all of that has to do with the third eye, or it appears that they're saying that, and I have to agree. Yours is, you see too much, Capricorn, and you are very angry. But you can't burn that up because that's where your wisdom is. And that's where your ability to see other things, other dimensionally, to see or to understand or to know what's important. That's where that is. It's on fire. You're really in a rage at what you see. So I'm going to send you back to the same play group of mantras, even though I hate and my heart is broken, because it breaks your heart what you're seeing. It breaks your heart. Please do it all day long. You're going to notice a huge difference. And put your head in water. Not just your body, your head. And for all of you, one of the things that can reduce the fire in this part of you, which is what leads to mental illness and creates and causes and is the root cause of mental illness, excess fire in the head, according to Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, get coconut oil. Put it in the palm of your hand, put 2 or 3 drops of cannabis. Both of them reduce fire, and massage your head with it. And maybe you should sleep all night with that. I think it'll make a huge difference. But you have to pay attention. You pay attention to how you felt today. And then tonight, you put that on your head. This is for everyone. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, you go, so how different do I feel from yesterday? And I think you might see a big difference. Your kids that are crazy from excess fire, do that to them at night. It should make a huge difference in their sleep too. Okay? Capricorn, same mantra. Even though I hate and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. Because you do have a broken heart. Because you know this has to do with your family. Whatever it is that's going on, and it's a lot, will affect your family. And for you, that's like a no-no. You need to be, you're only okay, Capricorn, if your family's okay. That's sweet. I'm Cancer. Therefore, that for me is like music to my ears, because we are supposedly the mother of the zodiac. Aquarius is the next sign. That is a male sign, and it's an air sign. I'm dying of curiosity to see what's going on with Aquarius. Very interesting. I'm seeing Aquarius. Then I see these, and this is for those of you that are actually seeing this video. These strings that you see here, where I'm showing the body and 72,000 strings that extend, most of them parallel to the ground. In Aquarius, a whole section of those strings is extra long, and it is wrapping around the body. Which, by the way, is what they do in black magic. A lot of times they get a little doll and they put strings around it. They tie it up. Well, you can do that to yourself. And Aquarius has done this to themselves. But the good news is that you have done, Aquarius, to hold yourself back and to wrap yourself tight, because you don't really want to talk about what you're thinking about. You are unwrapping. Your mind is unwrapping itself. Your body's going to be able to relax more. And I think you're going to become more vocal about what you know. Not more vocal as in engaging in fights or sharing stuff that's unimportant. You're going to be sharing stuff that you know that you never shared before, that you held back. Aquariuses know a lot, but they hold back a lot because they think the other people are not going to understand it. They're not ready. I think that's going to change. And I think you're going to feel a lot more satisfied, Aquarius, because you're going to unwrap yourself and you're going to be more you. Your mantra, really, honestly, Aquarius, it's depression. So your mantra should be, which you repeat in silence and expel the breath through the mouth, is, even though I'm depressed and my heart is broken, I love and accept myself. Your heart's been broken for a long time, because Aquariuses are very psychic, very intuitive, and you can see the handwriting on the wall. Things have not traveled down the correct path. And you can kind of see not exactly where we're going to end up, but you know it's not going to be a good place. We create reality. We can change that. And this week we're starting on Twitter in English and Spanish. We're starting our mantra mental yoga sessions for world peace. But you can't have peace in the world unless you have peace. And I think Aquarius is going to step up to bat now from what it is that I'm seeing that is happening to their assemblage of bodies, the part of it that has to do with their mind. Those strings channel something called Amrit, which is a nectar, which is your consciousness, who you are. Who you are is a nectar that flows through the bodies and these strings. Aquarius, you're stepping up to bat. This is a good thing. So let us go ahead and continue with the last sign, which is Pisces. You know what? Pisces are the most evolved of all the signs. They've been through so many incarnations and seen so much injustice and so much suffering. They come into this incarnation, they shut themselves in a box. That's it. They throw out the key. They don't want to have to deal with it. They shut down. So let's see where Pisces are now, because they're in exactly the same boat. Lots of human suffering, lack of compassion, broken people. They can't tolerate it. They're very real emotionally. Water sign emotions, the most emotional. But rather than like Cancer, to where we fall apart at the seams emotionally, I'm a Cancer, Pisces just wrap themselves even tighter or put themselves in an even smaller box. So let's go ahead and see what is going on this week from the 3rd to the 10th of July, the week in which we're being told that our internet's going to be taken down. How interesting, they take it down on the slowest month of the year, which is July. Might be a plan. Does the sun have a plan? Don't know, but I find that rather interesting. So Pisces, I see Pisces with the mind streams in the upper chest, which has to do with, they say there's another chakra there called the high heart chakra. That area, the strings go up and they're covering the face. You don't want to see, and yet I perceive that you are ready to get out from under, get out from that box, get out from behind that wall that you have up of mind strings. And I see you too are going to be stepping up to bat like Aquarius. It's like, okay. You're not aware of this, Pisces, but you're saying, okay. I signed up for this, so I might as well just step up and do what I wanted to do, even though this is really depressing. A very depressing place to be. And you're right. So we have two stepping up to bat, two waking up and stepping up to bat, having to do with where the planet's at and trying to make a difference. Of course we can make a difference. Our minds create reality. We are thousands of people before we got to Twitter in terms of the Mantrist movement, and we're going to get a lot more now. Why? Because we're going to set up some sessions to where you're going to be able to come in and join a group of people that are looking for the same thing you're looking for, which is relief from a level of stress from the other dimensions that is not tolerable. So we're going to work and lower that stress through the mantras and the mudras and visualizations and healings that I give, so that you can go back to your intentions and say, it doesn't really matter what the news says. My intention is ... Right now, I finished with the horoscopes, but this is for everybody who's listening or viewing these horoscopes for July, the 3rd to the 10th, 2023. What are you doing to hang on to your intentions, to stay right behind them and to energize them? Are you allowing this awful world news to make you feel like you can't get what you want? Because look at what's happening. That's bigger than me. You need to find out what we all found out in the Mantrista movement. In the other dimensions, something that's this size is the same thing as a mountain, the size of a mountain. If you decide you want to change it in the other dimensions, it's no more work to change that mountain as it is to change something this size. That's the wonderful thing about creation. And you are a creator. I don't like the term creator God. We are gods. We have superpowers. And now we need to be superheroes and bring to the table the things that work. So you should try these sessions and come in and join us whenever it is that you are no longer energizing your intentions. You join us when you are frightened by news, whether it's national news, international news, or news within the family. and you get your reaction and you subdue it, purify it, put it in its proper place, which is not repressed, so that you can get back to your intentions. So right now, I'm closing this today, now, but I want to ask you, you don't need to tell me, what are your intentions? And what are you going to do to ensure that you stay totally aligned and behind your intentions and vitalize them in spite of the chaos of the world? We invite you to join us, as that's the solution that we have found works. But if you have other better solutions, let us know, and we'll add them to our toolbox. I'm FRANCESFOX, and this was News from Other Dimensions. And stay with us a few minutes longer, because we're going to have you experience sound therapy with the sound of the element of water.